Before I married Sophia, I knew she had a great brother-in-law. She always instructed me never to get into conflict with my brother-in-law. The first time I went to mother-in-law's house for New Year's Eve after marriage, I was forced to work all day in the kitchen, cooking a holiday dinner for a dozen or so people, while the mother-in-law's family was in the living room eating fruits that I had cut up and chatting animatedly, and it was only when the holiday dinner was served that Sophia's sister's brother-in-law arrived. But just as I was getting ready to eat, I realized there was no place for me at the table. My brother-in-law snorted and said in a conspiratorial manner, "I've long heard that my brother-in-law is a loving wife, filial and good to get along with. It's just that this dish doesn't he do well." I was angry and just wanted to dislike him a few words. Instead, he said to mother-in-law, "In the future, it is still necessary to let mom do it. Mom makes good food." Brother-in-law's words just fell. Mother-in-law's face turned green. I stood aside, not reacting to the situation for a moment. The atmosphere grew progressively more awkward, but my brother-in-law was calmly sipping his drink. Finally, Sophia's dad tugged at mother-in-law's shirt. Mother-in-law pursed her lips and said, "Liam is from Hunan and said he'd make us some Cajun cuisine to try." I raised an eyebrow, my impression of mother-in-law dropping a few points, because I hadn't said a word like that since I walked in the door. Sophia and I were newlyweds, spending our first New Year's Eve at mother-in-law's house. My mom always told me that people should have mutual respect, especially since Sophia is much better off than I am. Yet she was willing to marry me without taking dowry. For Sophia's sake, I am willing to treat my mother-in-law's family better. As a human being, if I treat you well, you will naturally treat me well. So I asked if I needed any help. But who knows? Mother-in-law even directly handed over all the kitchen things to me. She either excused herself for having a backache or for having to pick up her son and daughter-in-law's family. Although Sophia and I have long agreed to defend each other. But she couldn't resist the fact that mother-in-law always dragged Sophia to chat with her. After a few times, Sophia seemed to forget that I was the only one who was busy. I was in the kitchen picking and chopping vegetables, frying fish, stewing meat, steaming fish-shaped rolls, and after a long day of work, they didn't even give me a seat at the table. Just when I was thinking about leaving, my brother-in-law raised his voice and spoke. My brother-in-law raised his voice and said, "Brother-in-law, don't you have a seat? Why are you standing here?" As if mother-in-law is deliberately bullying you. His words pierced everyone's ears like needles. Everyone froze and looked at each other in disbelief. Mother-in-law's face even changed several colors. Sophia finally reacted and hurriedly got up to find a stool and set it beside her. "Honey, come on. Sit next to me." I looked at the blue plastic stool. The heart was not in the right place. Other people are chairs. Only I am the only one to sit on a cheap stool. Sophia walked next to me, wrapped my arm and whispered, "I'm sorry, hubby. It's aggravating for you. You sit on mine." I looked at the woman I loved so much, or pushed down the little bit of sourness in my heart. A little hiccup, naturally, will not affect the mood of all the New Year's Eve. Sophia's family ate happily at the dinner table. Only brother-in-law has been indifferent. Indifferent look. At this time mother-in-law cleared his throat, took out a holiday envelope from his pocket and said to me, "Liam, this is the first time you've come to our house this year. This is a little token of appreciation from me and Dad. Don't mind if it's too little. It's just the rule of our family. Son-in-laws don't give holiday envelope. When you and Fang have a baby, we will give it to our grandchildren, haha." After saying that, she added, "Like your brother-in-law, there is no holiday envelope for so many years." The holiday envelope was pushed in front of me, which was a happy thing, but the words were so heartbreaking. When I was hesitating to take it or not, my brother-in-law over there snorted and laughed out. "Mom, are you fooling the fool here? 2. My sister gently touched my brother-in-law's elbow. Brother-in-law slanted him a glance and continued, "Mom doesn't want to give it. Just don't give it. But don't take me for granted." My heart trembled. Picking up holiday envelopes hand, how can't take it up? Mother-in-law finally couldn't stand it anymore. Holiday envelopes slapped on the table at once. "What? Are you readied?" My second son-in-law is a considerate child. Knows that heartache parents. Am willing to give. You come back in addition to eating is lying. A little help cannot help. I do not give you not right. Mother-in-law mood a little out of control. Listen to the brother-in-law's resentment has been deep. Brother-in-law shrugged indifferently and didn't continue talking. I smiled awkwardly. Mom, holiday envelope is not necessary. You are Sophia's mom. It's only right that I help you. After I finished speaking, I saw my brother-in-law silently sigh. Mother-in-law laughed her ass off, pulling my hand and kept praising me for being a good son-in-law. And that thin letter of holiday envelope, also smoothly back into the pocket. At this moment, brother-in-law Lucas, who had been eating, suddenly shouted, "Why is there ginger in this dish?" He spat as he spoke, spitting the dish that had just entered his mouth onto the table. I thought I said no ginger. I hate ginger. Mom, didn't you tell your second brother-in-law? Mother-in-law said subconsciously. I told you. Who knows how I put it in again? Brother-in-law Lucas dropped his gaze on me. I quickly waved my hands. I don't know. Mom didn't say. My voice gradually trailed off. Because Sophia was squeezing my arm, signaling me to stop talking. Mother-in-law changed her face at once. I didn't say. I told you a long time ago that my brother doesn't eat ginger. Don't put it in. Why did you forget? My chest instantly clogged up and I tried to get Sophia to say something for me. But she only shook her head at me. Brother-in-law Lucas slammed his chopsticks on the table with a bang. No more. How can we eat this? We don't let people have a good meal on New Year's Day. Mother-in-law hurriedly coaxed. She touched brother-in-law Lucas' head. Don't be angry. Don't be angry. You can't eat angry on New Year's Day. Let your second brother-in-law make a few more without ginger. Don't be angry. Liam, you go make a few more dishes. This time never put ginger. Mother-in-law instructed me as a matter of course. Sophia's brother is the youngest at home and is a boy. That's why father-in-law mother-in-law hated to feed all the rice directly into his mouth. And now asking me, the newly married son-in-law, to cook for him again. As an only son, I have never been so capricious at home. Seeing me sitting still, mother-in-law urged, Go on, Liam. What are you doing? Sophia leaned into my ear and whispered, Why don't you go make 2 more? My brother really doesn't eat ginger. But it wasn't a question of whether he ate ginger or not. I furrowed my brows and stared at Sophia. I didn't understand her maneuvering. And even more so, I didn't understand what it was all about. Sophia tugged at me with a face of embarrassment. Hubby, just do it for me, okay? I remembered what my mom once told me. Mutual respect. Give a little first. They always know I'm good. The scene became more and more unmanageable. Brother-in-law Lucas was on the verge of tears. Sophia was begging me with her eyes. I pushed down the aggression in my heart and went to the kitchen to fry 2 more dishes. 3. The dishes on the table. Brother-in-law Lucas with chopsticks pickled twice. New Year's Eve, who eat the saw? Second brother-in-law. You are deliberately bullying me. In the past when my sister was at home, she made me whatever I wanted to eat. Why are you doing this to me when you're here? How come my sister married you and I still have to suffer the aggravation you give me? Brother-in-law Lucas said, more and more excited. Put down the chopsticks and cried. Mother-in-law comforted her on the side. How can it be? You will always be the most favored in the family. Mom, Dad, sisters will certainly not let you suffer. After saying that, she said to me, Liam, go make a barbecue ribs. My brother likes it. I finally couldn't hold back. With my finger, I pointed to the braised pork ribs on the dining table. This has no ginger. Mother-in-law was stunned for a moment, as if she didn't expect me to disobey her. She cocked her head and sized me up. Are you not listening? Can braised and sweet and sour be the same? I told you to make barbecue ribs. Just go and do it right. Why are you so talkative? In just 2 sentences. Mother-in-law was like a completely different person. The person who was amiable and complimented me constantly just now seemed to have disappeared. I was somewhat unable to believe my ears. Such words, such a tone of voice. I hadn't heard anyone say it to me since I was a child. I looked at Sophia with eyes full of anger. She held my hand and soothed it twice. Then spoke. Mom. Liam also made it without ginger. Besides, aren't there ribs here? It's New Year's. Let's eat first. I thought I could put things to rest. I didn't realize that it seemed to have touched the strings of mother-in-law. She roared. Useless thing. What? Are you going to learn from that sister of yours? Forgetting your mother and brother once you marry. Joining forces with an outsider to bully your younger brother. Are you such a sister? Sophia hurriedly explained. No, I didn't. Her tone was low, with a hint of compromise. My heart sank, and sure enough, she looked at me with her eyes again. Husband, or you, Sophia, do you know what you said in? I asked in a cold voice. At home, how did we agree? Husband and wife are of one mind and maintain each other. This is still the promise Sophia gave me first. At the time, I heard it and nestled my heart. I know Sophia was aggrieved by marrying me, so we made a pact that no matter how much father-in-law mother-in-law looked down on me, we have to be each other's back. But now, as I looked at Sophia's coy appearance, I was shocked to realize that that sentence was simply a fart. Seeing my face grow somber, Sophia knows I'm pissed off. But mother-in-law continued to add fuel to the fire. Liam, how are you talking to my daughter? It's not just for you to cook a few dishes for your brother. What are you OVR dramatic about? You're a Livian son-in-law, and you dare to hang your face directly with your daughter-in-law. Fang said that your parents are simple and honest folks. But I don't think you're a good tutor either. Didn't your parents teach you before you got married to be a Livian son-in-law? To be peaceful, to be considerate and to be obedient. Sophia spoke up to stop it. Mom, stop it. I stood up, my chest filled with anger. What Livian son-in-law? Sophia and I are married as equals. And who are you to talk about my parents? 4. I looked at mother-in-law angrily and clenched my hands into fists. Mother-in-law, however, was emboldened. What are you doing? What are you doing standing up? Who are you scaring? Let me tell you, this is in my house. This family is all named Song. Whatever my son wants to eat, you have to go and make it for me. That's the rule in our house. What's wrong with talking about your parents? Am I wrong? You didn't spend a dime on marrying my daughter, and you let her mortgage payments with you. What are you if not a Livian son-in-law? I was so angry that I breathed heavily. Sophia stroked my arm and said, Liam, husband, cut the crap, cut the crap. I suddenly laughed. I'll say less. Sophia, are you deaf? Can't you tell the difference between who deserves to say less after all this time and half a day? Okay. Sophia yelled suddenly, and I froze in place. That's my mom, who raised me so well. So what's wrong with her saying a few words? Besides, what's wrong with making barbecue ribs for my brother after all the cooking you've done? Well, you're also a person who is someone's brother-in-law. Why are you so small-minded? You weren't like this before. Sophia's continuous complaining made me slow down for a long time. I didn't understand how the wife who respected me and loved me suddenly changed her face. I shook off her hand that was pulling me. Instead, I knocked over the dishes in front of me and shattered them all over the place. At the side of the eunuch who has not said anything finally spoke. Sophia. This is the son-in-law you find. What a big deal to make such a mess. How did you pick such a man? Do you know what it means to respect the old and love the young? I told you to find a compliant one. But you refused. The eunuch pointed at me, just like this. It's a disgrace to my Song family when it gets out. He slammed the wine glass on the ground. The shards of glass that crumbled up scratched my hand. My heart crumpled into a ball of pain. I suddenly felt that my mom was wrong. Some people simply don't deserve mutual respect. Sophia's eyes flashed with hesitation when she saw my hand bleeding. But mother-in-law's mouth continued to say, "Let him serve his father-in-law, mother-in-law. Serve brother-in-law. Lucas made such a mess. If this spreads out, other people are going to laugh at our family to death. The college student that your father and I put all our efforts into ended up finding such an uneducated Livian son-in-law. Simply humiliating. Shame on you." Sophia's parents spoke left and right. Her face also gradually became deeper and deeper. When she raised her eyes to me again, there was no trace of emotion. She grabbed my wrist. "Liam, it's too inconsiderate for you to make such a scene on New Year's Eve. Now, apologize to my parents, and my brother." I looked at Sophia incredulously. The chill in my heart grew deeper and deeper. She couldn't see that I was hurt. She couldn't see my aggravation. She couldn't see that I was half dead from exhaustion cooking for their family. She can't see that I'm a Livian son-in-law, and she can't even see that I'm a Livian son-in-law. And even joined in. I asked him with a trembling voice, "Say that again." Sophia spoke through clenched teeth. "To my family, apologize." I laughed in anger and broke away from Sophia's grip on me. Picking up the dishes in front of her, she smashed them hard on the floor. Crisp cracking sounds rang out, and the surroundings were instantly quiet. "I apologize my ass." After a dead silence, a few clapping sounds suddenly rang out. My brother-in-law, who had been silent all this time, got up and walked towards me. His voice carried joy and excitement as he reached out and wrapped his hand around my shoulders. "I thought you were a softie, only to be rubbed by others. I didn't expect that. But also a tempered one. I like it." His cold gaze fell on the Song family, his hands holding the edge of the dining table. "Liam, Mom has a saying that is right. This place is all surnamed Song, foreign surnamed people, only the two of us. Now, let's give them Song family a good New Year's greeting." Without waiting for me to react, brother-in-law had already lifted the whole table. A large table of food flying around. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law Lucas, including Sophia, were all shocked and shouted out. I looked back at Sophia's sister. She, however, had ducked into the doorway at some point, keep shaking her head helplessly. I didn't expect my brother-in-law to make such a shocking move, only to stand frozen next to her. Father-in-law was covered in vegetable soup and couldn't stop roaring. "It's revolting. It's revolting. Simply revolting." Mother-in-law and brother-in-law Lucas hugged each other tightly, looking at brother-in-law with horror in their eyes. I was even more marveled, only to see my brother-in-law wiping his hands indifferently. "Dad, after how many years? That's all you can say. You say more. This day, not all right." The eunuch pointed at his sister and shouted, "Emma, you're just going to watch him make a mess in the house. Are you still a member of this family? How did I educate you as a child? The Livian aunt can't even control him. What else can you be good at?" Brother-in-law snorted and looked at his sister. "It's that line again. My ears are getting calloused from hearing it." Mother-in-law gulped and said, "Ethan, what are you doing? Today's matter originally has nothing to do with you. So why are you following along?" Brother-in-law swept a look over. Mother-in-law instantly shut her mouth. "Mom, you've said that Liam is a foreigner. Aren't I also a foreigner? Didn't you say that to me as well? After so many years of us two mothers loving each other, How could I not hear something in your words? Since you've taken me on, I can't possibly suffer for nothing, brother-in-law Lucas bravely said. Brother-in-law, Mom didn't mean that. Why do you take it upon yourself? Today would have been second brother-in-law's fault. Pointing the finger at me, my brother-in-law smiled meaningfully. Turning his head to look at me, he made a wink. I suddenly understood why Sophia repeatedly emphasized to me, never start an argument with your brother-in-law. I kicked away the plate by my feet in one go and gave a mocking smile. My fault. What's my fault? I worked all day to cook for you and serve you for New Year's, and it's my fault. Brother-in-law Lucas retorted. Mom has worked so hard for so many years. Isn't that what you should do? You're her own son. She raised you. She didn't raise me. Those are your duties, not mine. You. Brother-in-law Lucas bristled. Strong words. Sophia finally dared to speak up. She glanced at me but didn't dare to look at her brother-in-law. Brother-in-law, it's not easy for our family to celebrate the new year. Aren't you a bit too much? Brother-in-law reached out to pickpocket Sophia. Sophia didn't even dare to breathe. He smiled contemptuously and said, Liam is young. You guys bully him. I'm afraid that he's a carry-all. So I don't like to meddle in his own business for fear of getting myself into trouble. But he's not a softie. I knew he knew it in his heart. Your family bullies your son-in-law, and you still want a good year in decency. Dream on. 6. I finally realized why my brother-in-law is not to be messed with. When my brother-in-law first married my sister a few years ago, he was just like me, thinking that tolerating a little can be calm and the whole family harmonious. But the Song family didn't think so. The Song family feels that the son-in-law that their 2 daughters are looking for can be in bad condition. But they must contribute to the Song family, must be like Livian's son-in-law to serve the Song family. Including that brother-in-law Lucas, who has accomplished nothing, has to be pampered as much as his sisters. They also wanted to squeeze brother-in-law just like they did me. But they didn't realize that brother-in-law was a piece of steel. He was fatherless as a teenager, though he only graduated from high school, but has a great talent for business. He earned the first bucket of gold in his life by his sharp mind. He met his sister, Emma, when he was studying for the adult higher education examination, and they fell in love at first sight and got married without any problems. Mother-in-law did not like her brother-in-law's background, and always sneered at him. But my brother-in-law is a man who has seen the world, naturally do not like to be in such a small matter. Until that time, my sister quarreled with mother-in-law over my brother-in-law, and mother-in-law pushed my sister down the stairs on purpose, causing my sister to have a miscarriage. It was brother-in-law and sister's first child. My brother-in-law was extremely sad and even thought of divorcing my sister. But my sister is a woman who knows right from wrong. Just when brother-in-law said he wanted to sue mother-in-law for intentional injury. Although my sister was heartbroken, she didn't stop it. It is that time brother-in-law's iron face let mother-in-law in the detention center for a whole half month. In the end, brother-in-law still look at the sister's face, spared mother-in-law. Since then, brother-in-law in the Song family has become the existence of not to be messed with. Brother-in-law Lucas naturally do not dare to go against him. Father-in-law mother-in-law can only tolerate what he can and try not to provoke him. Back in the day, I told you not to bully simple and honest folks, but you guys, on the contrary, you specifically pick the honest ones to squeeze. Sophia, do you think I don't know what you're playing at? My brother-in-law questioned Sophia and my heart clenched into a ball. I heard everything you said to your sister on the phone that time. Sophia froze in place as if she was struck by lightning after my brother-in-law said that. I watched her lose her composure like that, but I still couldn't resist asking my brother-in-law. What did she say to her sister? My brother-in-law said that Sophia had told my sister when she was frantically pursuing me. Liam's family is not in good condition. His parents are farming. Such a family is honest. as long as I don't accept dowry. Liam will definitely be able to die to our family and be grateful. Sister, it's enough to have an overbearing brother-in-law in the family. If I want to find one, I definitely want to find one like Liam. At that time, he won't dare to rebel against our parents, and our parents will be blessed. After listening to my brother-in-law's narration, Sophia hurriedly explained, "Hubby, it's not like that. He's talking nonsense. I didn't think that way," brother-in-law said in a deep tone. "I was there when you got married." Sophia cried like that on the stage. "I thought she should truly love you, but from what I can tell today, it was all an act on her part. My heart aches so finely that I almost shed a tear." Yes, Sophia on the day of the wedding made me feel as if I had the best love ever. The woman acted so well that I was fooled by her until now. I hung my head sadly and my brother-in-law took me by the shoulders. "I'm a self-grown weed. I'm not afraid of them. Besides, Emma has always been on my side." "But Liam, Sophia can't do that. I know you're a big fan of love. So I'm really afraid that you've misplaced your life." Sophia's eyes were shady and she was about to make a move, but Emma twisted her hand back. "Emma, are you my sister or not? Ethan, you want to destroy my home. You're so vicious." Emma slapped Sophia on the head. "Sophia, how do you talk to my husband?" Sophia let out an awe of pain and yelled at her sister. "Emma, you've been elbowing your way out of the house for so many years. Can you stand up to Mom and Dad?" Emma sneered and twisted Sophia's arm a little harder. Sophia bent over in pain. "You don't need to use that set of morals to kidnap me. Last year, Mom and Dad's house renovation. More than $200,000 are Ethan's money. The year before that, Dad's leg was injured and he had surgery. It was also Ethan who paid for it, and even got Dad nursing care for 6 months straight. Counting back, what have you ever done for this family? You still have the nerve to talk about me." Sophia was almost on her knees from Emma's suppression. But she was still talking tough. "That's why I have to find them an obedient, considerate Livian son-in-law, who doesn't make them angry and serves them in their old age. I'm not like you, acting on your husband's authority, not caring about your parents' deaths and lives. No conscience." Sophia rose red and argued with her sister. But she forgot that the obedient Livian son-in-law she was looking for was right in front of her. The words she uttered were finally no longer disguised. The more I listened, the more desperate I became, and the more I hated myself for looking away. I walked to Sophia. Sophia then reacted to what she had just said. "Old husband, don't call me," I choked and shouted. "Sophia, you make me sick." "Liam, who are you to call my daughter names? I'll fight you," mother-in-law screamed, holding up a plastic stool and swinging it at me. Brother-in-law coldly blocked in front of her. With a swing, the plastic stool shattered into several pieces. Mother-in-law trembled in fear and met her brother-in-law's cold gaze. Backward a few steps, directly sat on the ground and cried, "What sin did I create? Ah, family misfortune, ah. Let so too son-in-law Livian, simply against the heavens. Do people Livian son-in-law not only beat his wife, but also beat his father-in-law mother-in-law? Law now." She pointed at her brother-in-law. "Emma, if you still don't divorce this man, don't call me Mom anymore." Brother-in-law Lucas squatted beside mother-in-law. "Sister, are you trying to piss Mom off? You let Ethan run the show in our house. Are you still the daughter of the Song family?" Brother-in-law raised his eyebrows and looked at his sister. Emma grunted and let go of Sophia. She walked over to mother-in-law and tried to help her up. But mother-in-law played foul and refused to get up. Sister crouched down and gave brother-in-law Lucas a blank look. "Brother, you went to Ethan at work a week ago and begged him to find your daughter-in-law a job. Ethan asked a friend to get her into corporate job. And you're falling on your sword today." Brother-in-law Lucas was speechless and stammered for half a day. "That thing is that thing. Today they bullied Mom and Dad is wrong. These two things can't be mixed up." The older sister cut her voice and stopped talking to her sister. She sighed and said to mother-in-law, "Mom, you guys have been patriarchal all your life, and you only have your younger brother in your eyes, and for so many years. You've been looking for me, either asking me to pay money or looking for me to do things. Other than that, the only topic of conversation between us mothers is for me to get a divorce. But I said long ago, I can't divorce Ethan. All my life, I stand with him." 8. My sister was so firm, but it pierced my heart deeply. I saw my sister-in-law's eyes filled with tenderness. Between her and my sister's eyes, they were full of love. Sister shielded her brother-in-law and me behind her, telling us to stand farther away. Sure enough, the next second, mother-in-law picked up the bowl beside her and smashed it at sister. My brother-in-law frowned and was just about to step forward when my sister reached out and waved her hand. Blood began to seep out of my sister's forehead. I rushed to find the medical kit but heard my sister say, "Liam, I'm sorry to let you see such a scene on your first visit to our house. Sophia didn't tell you the truth. It's me as her sister who didn't teach her well, actually." Our Song family's life was already a mess, sister said as she picked up the fallen table and set up the chairs. It was then that I realized why my sister was so determined to choose my brother-in-law. So much so that she stood up to her brother-in-law against her own parents. Sister is the eldest daughter of the Song family. The Song family emphasizes men. Sister, in order to let her brother have money to go to college, took the initiative to take up the responsibility of getting up and earning money. She gave all the money she earned to the family. But just when she was in a car accident and needed a new kidney, she needed money. Song's parents, however, waved their hands and couldn't get anything out. The doctor said that Sophia and her brother were both qualified to give their sister a kidney. But none of them saved their sister. When her sister was in a life-and-death situation, it was her brother-in-law who finally paid and gave her back a kidney. I had a miscarriage that time. It was our first and last child. My sister's voice choked up, and I saw my brother-in-law lower his head as well, teardrops quietly slipping down. I don't know why, but my eyes followed suit. My sister sat in a chair and looked askance at my mother, who was juggling on the floor. "Mom, you guys gave birth to me and raised me, and I don't blame you for not wanting to save me. But after that time, my life wasn't yours to give. My life was Ethan's. You hurt Ethan and cost us our only child, and I can't forgive that. Ethan and I have done enough over the years. We never owed anyone anything." My sister stood up and held out her hand toward my brother-in-law. Brother-in-law silently rummaged through his bag and pulled out 2 piles of money. "This is the New Year's holiday environment. Ethan never wants yours, but he always remembers to give it to you. It's been a messy year, again, but I'll put my word on it. Ethan is going to watch Liam's back, and whatever Liam decides to do from now on, Ethan and I, well, support him." My brother-in-law came back to me and patted me on the shoulder. I was in tears and didn't know what to say. 3 years into our relationship with Sophia, we had just gotten married. I see her as a lifelong companion, and I deeply expect us to make the best of our days. Have a lovely child and be in love for the rest of our lives. But my brother-in-law was right. I thought of marriage too simply. I didn't even get to know Sophia's family properly. I looked at Sophia with eyes full of disappointment. She seemed to sense it, and her expression started to become flustered. Mother-in-law was too embarrassed to say anything else after hearing her sister's words. But my father-in-law, who had been silent, spoke up. "Emma, we're too old to control you, but it's not your turn to make decisions about your sister's affairs. Sophia, your own husband. Do you still need your sister and brother-in-law to make decisions for you?" Brother-in-law bristled. "Dad, Liam is a man who can make his own decisions, and no need for you to interfere." 9. My brother-in-law looked at me and nodded gently. I knew that even though we hadn't known each other long, he was the only one here who knew me. Although my parents were uneducated, they had taught me from a young age to treat people kindly. They've also always told me not to be weak when things go wrong, and to always keep my heart good. Our family has always believed that good people have good rewards. Today is a testament to that. If I didn't have my brother-in-law, maybe I would have to be coaxed by Sophia again. Confused in the Song family to be a cow as a horse, a grieved life. I walk towards Sophia, her eyes dodge. Husband, Sophia, you don't love me at all, right? Let's say I'm a love brain. At this point in time, I still want to know that the wife I decided to be faithful to for the rest of my life. How much love is there for me? My sister's brother-in-law's feelings were alive and well. Sophia and I are nothing compared to them. Sophia didn't seem to expect me to ask such a question at this point in time. She looked around at her own family and gulped. Of course I love you, Liam. I love you. Our vows. I've never forgotten them. Today I'm just. I smiled bitterly. Lying. I glanced at my sister. Sophia's siblings actually look alike. I heard that my sister is only 3 years older than Sophia. But the two sisters are diametrically opposed. Sophia. My eyes aren't blind. It's love when sister and brother-in-law are like that. Do you think we can continue to live on after today's mess? Sophia retorted in a low voice. But don't you have a problem? My brother wants a dish and you won't even do it. Do you take my parents and siblings as family anymore? Are you this cool at home? I wiped a tear from my eye. You're wrong, Sophia. My family is poor, but I'm at home, and I'm the favored one. Sophia wanted to say something else but faded into silence after seeing me move. I took the ring off my ring finger and smiled to myself. Then dropped it on the floor in front of her. Liam, are you serious? We just got married, Sophia yelled. I put on my coat, hat, and scarf. Then walked to the door under Sophia's incredulous gaze. Sophia. Get your marriage license and ID and meet me in front of City Hall tomorrow. We are divorced. My attitude was calm and rational. I had just walked out of the house when my brother-in-law and sister chased me out. The door was still open, only to hear Sophia's mom crying inside. What a family misfortune. What a bad luck of 8 lifetimes. Liam, we send you, my brother-in-law said with a smile as he put his arm around my shoulders. My heart clogged up and I nodded in silence. In the car, my brother-in-law accompanied me in the back seat. He unscrewed a bottle of water and handed it to me. Really think about it. I took a sip. If I still can't figure it out like this, wouldn't I be failing you for protecting me? Harm. I don't care. Brother-in-law, why are you willing to help me? I know that at first you didn't want to care. Brother-in-law hooked his lips. Stop calling me brother-in-law. Call me brother. And call her sister-in-law. He tapped the main driver. Emma drove and laughed softly. I was surprised that making a scene in the Song family didn't seem to have any effect on them. Out of that house, they were happy instead. 10. Ethan patted my shoulder and said, You know, the Song family's relationship with us is strained. We basically don't have much contact. At most, we come back for dinner at New Year's, and we leave before we can stay long. So I'm also afraid of meddling in my own business. If you can't figure it out and don't understand my painstaking efforts, then I'm sure it'll end up with a lot of complaints. That's why at first, I've been holding back, not wanting to interfere. I nodded, indicating that I understood what he meant. The wife's sister had just gotten married, and the man who was her brother-in-law had gotten the two divorced. Brother Ethan would be cursed to death if this was told. He smiled in relief. Actually, I've been waiting for you to come around on your own. That family of songs. I know it too well. Emma was afraid that I'd fall into blame. and hadn't been too keen on letting me speak up for you. But on the wedding day, I saw you and your parents. And I softened. Brother Ethan said he sat in the corner and watched the wedding day. Sophia's mom was drunk that day and kept picking on the hotel attendants. Several little girls were cried by her scolding. But I saw your parents backstage apologizing to those waitresses all the time and giving them holiday envelopes. Brother Ethan had tears under his eyes. You know, I grew up without parents. I just thought, if I had a pair of parents like that, they would have held me in the palm of their hands too. And how could a family that treats people like that be able to fight the Song family? I secretly decided in my heart that as long as you know how to protect yourself and know not to let yourself be wronged, it'll help you, brother. I almost cried with joy. He patted my back like a child. Liam, you're young and sentimental. You must feel that Sophia lost out by marrying you, so you listened to her on everything. But that shouldn't be diced up by a bad marriage. But you and Sophia, after all, just got married. Will you blame me for breaking you up? How could I? I immediately sat up straight. Brother Ethan was literally my savior. Without him, maybe my life would be over. Sophia may not be a bad person, but she is selfish and thinks only of her own family. She didn't marry me because of how much she loves me. Someone like that, I'm definitely going to divorce her. It's just that the time now is almost midnight and I don't know how to tell my family when I get home. Brother Ethan reads my mind and takes the initiative to invite me to his house for New Year's Eve. I liked him and was willing to stay with him. So on New Year's Eve of this year, I followed Ethan's brother and sister-in-law. Had a different New Year. They had a big dog and 2 cats at home. We had hot pot, champagne, and counted down to the spring festival together. Ethan said, "New year, new beginning. Wish Liam, good year." I was moved to tears and deeply grateful for his presence. City Hall was closed for the new year. Sophia and I delayed our divorce until the first day of work after the holidays. She came to my house every day to see me during the new year. She cried and begged me for forgiveness. But I only felt hypocritical. My father even coldly shooed her away several times. Finally, she stopped pretending. The moment before the divorce, she asked for half of my house. But that house I bought before marriage. After marriage, she did not even a month of mortgage shared with me. It is impossible for me to share it with her. I heard from Ethan that Sophia's mom curses and swears every day. She keeps yelling for Sophia to find another good, obedient Livian son-in-law. She also said that Song's family had a messy year. Not only are they being pointed out by the neighbors, even the relatives don't like to come to holiday visits. But of course, those relatives are supposed to come for Ethan and his sister-in-law. But the 2 of them had already flown to the Maldives on 2 tickets. The Song family has nothing to do with them, and even less to do with me. But I've got a good big brother, and that's something to be thankful for.